Sit. Gib Fuß. Gib Fuß. Ei.
meant to be a cheater. There was blood on the wall. I had to steal from Peter. Say what I want to call. And stay and face the music. So many reasons why I won't be sending postcards from her wife, from her wife, from her wife.
Hello and welcome to our Christmas episode of Vlogmas. So the last Vlogmas video for this playlist. So today I will talk with you a little bit about Christmas knitting or Christmas projects, Christmas Eve cast-ons, Christmas traditions and everything in between that. So let me take a sip of coffee and we can start. Okay, today when I record this, it is the 22nd of December. So in 2 days we will have Christmas Eve. And I know I repeat myself, but we have many new subscribers on this channel, so I will say it again, as every year. Here in Germany, where I live, we celebrate Christmas on the 24th, in the evening of the 24th. But the theologian in me, because I studied theology, I'm a master of theology, always has to bite on, I always have to bite on my tongue when I say we celebrate Christmas on the 24th, because it's not Christmas on the 24th. The Christmas day is the 25th. So actually the Britons and the Americans, I would say you celebrate in the morning, right? You get the presents, or the children receive the presents in the morning of the 25th, and that makes a lot of sense because it's Christmas, and the 24th is still the holy evening, as we say in German. Another German word of the day. You told me you want me to speak a little bit German. It is Heiligabend, the holy evening. Christmas Eve, you say, but holy evening is such a comforting word. So we celebrate Christmas on the Holy Evening. That means many families, it's very different. Okay, let me tell you what many families do, and then I tell you what I do. So many families keep it simple during the day of the 24th. A little meal, so a little bit of something for lunch, nothing too fancy. Here in Eastern Germany, they eat potato salad, Kartoffelsalat in German, with mayonnaise and so on. So potato salad and sausages. We say Wiener Würstchen. Viennese sausages? I don't know if you say this in English. So a very, very simple lunch. That is something my family used to eat for picnic, for example, when you travel somewhere. And then in the afternoon, you get Christmas cookies and coffee and clementines. And in the evening, the big, big dinner, the Christmas dinner will happen. I don't know one family. I really don't know one single family who doesn't eat something fancy in the evening, on the Holy Evening. So in my family, we always ate turkey. Oh gosh, I really want to make turkey as well, but for 2 people, it's just too much. So I hope to have a family soon so I can make turkey. I love turkey. Okay, so in my family, it's turkey. Many other families don't eat the same thing on the 24th, but it's always something fancy, something expensive you don't eat during the year, for example, because it costs so much or it's very time consuming to make it. Some people eat fondue, for example, with cheese or with hot oil. Other families eat raclette. That is something we do on the New Year's Eve. So my family always did that, and now we do this in this Enanita family as well. So Mr. and Mrs. Enanita eat raclette on the New Year's Eve. But we will talk about New Year's Eve later. So that is the Holy Evening. But I have to correct everything I said before, because as a theologian, I want to keep it Catholic here. So I want to explain a little bit why we eat simple on the 24th during the day, and in the night, in the evening, we eat fancy. Okay. Many years ago, the Advent season was a Lent season. That means you gave up fancy things. So, for example, people didn't eat meat or sweets, candy, no alcohol, and so on. So just as for Lent before Easter, it's still a Lent. So that's why the churches aren't decorated throughout Advent. You only have the Advent wreath. I really have to look up that word. And nothing else, no flower decoration or something else. And the priest is wearing a purple vestment. That is always a sign that there is something preparation going on, like preparation. So preparation for Christmas or for Easter. That's why it's purple. Okay, but when you go to the midnight mass, so the Christmas vigil, or in midnight liturgy, or whatever confession you are as a Christian, after that we can say Merry Christmas. After the midnight mass, after the celebration and hearing the gospel of the birth of Jesus Christ, after that we have actually Christmas, and that happens in the night from the 24th to the 25th, because Jesus was born in the night, at least in the very late evening. So for us Catholics, as for the Jews, it's the new day always starts when the sun goes down. So when the sun goes down on Christmas Eve, it's Christmas. But for me, it's when I return from church. Then I can say Merry Christmas. I won't say Merry Christmas before that, because it's not Christmas yet. It's still Advent. And because Advent should be different from Christmas, and you should feel the difference, you know, it should be... Advent shouldn't be as good as Christmas, you know what I mean? So that is why I keep some sweets and candies, for example, away, so we can eat them the first time on Christmas, or special dinners or lunch or something, okay? So yeah, Christmas Eve is a very lovely day, but we our society came away from these traditions. So that is why it is correct to say most Germans celebrate Christmas on the 24th. So also in my family, although I grew up very Catholic, already the breakfast on Christmas Eve in the morning was very fancy. And I do the same. I only stay with the very small and not very fancy lunch, just because, you know, you eat a lot from the 24th on the next days until New Year's Eve. So it's okay to cut off a little bit. Okay, so in my family, and I do the same now with my fiance, we start with a very nice breakfast, you know, with fresh baked buns or self-made bread. And for example, it's the small things, you know. For example, in my family, we used to open a new glass of marmalade. It's the small things, you know. You have to eat up the old ones during the days before Christmas, and for Christmas we opened up, for example, the new glass of, I don't know, cherry marmalade or raspberry marmalade or something. We actually did this on other feasts or Sundays as well, but it's a thing. Or for example, we eat Aufschnitt. The German word is Aufschnitt. If you cut cheese or meat in thin slices you put on your bread. Okay, that is Aufschnitt. So we buy Aufschnitt we wouldn't buy during weekdays or the normal year, you know? So a very fancy breakfast. Then I usually prepare everything for the Christmas Eve dinner or the Christmas Day lunch. This year I have guests over on the second day of Christmas, so the 26th of December. So I can't prepare anything on Christmas Eve, unfortunately, so I have to do this on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day we visit Tommy's family and we eat there. I'm looking forward to that because they make so good things to eat. I always enjoy it very much. Always very traditional and yummy, and yeah, Christmas. Awesome. Christmas is also about eating. Then we have the little lunch, for example, a soup or leftovers from the day before on Christmas Eve. And then in the afternoon, so it depends. We will see how we do it this year. I bought very, very, very good Stollen. Stollen is a traditional German baked good. It's a Christmas cake with marzipan and raisins and powdered sugar and a lot of butter. And I eat it with butter in addition on top of that. So it looks like bread you cut into slices. It looks like bread with raisins, but it has all the calories inside. And it is very good. And here in our neighborhood there is a bakery which makes, I'm honest here right now, I have eaten many Stollen already. And the most traditional one is made in Dresden. So that is a city about 2 hours from here, also in Eastern Germany. But I swear, the Stollen from our bakery here is the best Stollen in Germany. It is. So we usually eat something like cookies or cake or Stollen and drink coffee in the afternoon. But it could clash a little bit this year because of the pandemic. We have, our parish offers 2 liturgies for Christmas Eve. I have to say they are very early. I'm not used to that. Wherever I lived before, and I lived at many places, usually it's around midnight. So the latest liturgy I had was 23. I'm sorry we say it like that in German. 11 p.m. So the liturgy starts at 11 p.m. and usually takes 1.5, maybe 2 hours. But here it's obviously tradition to do it in the late afternoon. So one liturgy is at 5 o'clock in the pre-evening or late afternoon. Because we are not allowed to be so many people in our little church because of pandemic and so on and distance, we have at, I think, 3:30. Yeah, 3:30, another liturgy. So the liturgy of the night in the afternoon. But it is already dark when you leave the church. And we took this one because we too can visit the church on that day, on that time, because I know for many people it's more comfortable to to attend liturgy at 5 o'clock, because it's obviously easier for them for cooking and preparations and with the children and everything. So we don't mind to be earlier in the church. So we will maybe or not drink coffee each stall and then go to church. It's difficult because I don't eat before I go to church. As a Catholic, you, is it fast? Yeah, I think. You fast an hour before you attend the liturgy and go to the Holy Communion. So it can work out, but I don't feel so well if I have a full belly and then attend the Eucharist. So, okay. And when we return from the church, I think we could watch, before church or after church, maybe after church, we will watch my favorite Christmas movie with George C. Scott in the main role of Scrooge, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. And after that we prepare our dinner. We will eat fish. It is a tradition I learned in Austria when I lived there, because I told you it was always a Lent until the 24th of December, so people didn't eat meat, so they ate fish. And that is why we eat fish, because a turkey is too much for us. And I really like fish, so we eat fish. And rosemary, is it rosemary? Rosemary, potatoes, and vegetables out of the oven. Carrots, and I don't know if it's called celery. Yeah. And after the dinner, we exchange Christmas presents. Okay, now there is another thing I want to talk about, and I need your help, especially from the Americans, especially from the Christian Americans. Here is the thing. Okay, when I grew up in a Catholic family, and in Catholic regions, the Christ child himself brings the Christmas presents. Okay? You never see the Christ child. And it's not an angel. Many Germans think the Christ child, in German, Christkind, looks like an angel with golden hair and so on. With curly golden hair, and I don't know why people think that. So the Christ child is Jesus Christ. And he brings the presents himself. Nobody has seen him ever. Okay. The parents always say, oh, I had a talk with a Christ child, and he said you have to be better, so you get your presents, for presents' sake. You have to be a good boy or a good girl. All the parents do that. But some regions in Germany have adopted Santa Claus. We have Saint Nicholas, so the real bishop of Myra in German. He brings little presents and candy on December 6th, okay? But the Santa Claus took over. So not the church Santa Claus, Santa like holy, but like Coca-Cola Santa Claus, or in all the fairy tales, this Santa Claus. It's very difficult for me because in Germany we call the Santa Claus Christmas man, Weihnachtsmann. So the Weihnachtsmann, Christmas man, brings the presents for the children in the night between the 24th and 25th. Okay. Now my question to the Christians among you. How do you deal with the whole Santa Claus problem? Because I find it difficult because I grew up like this, I grew up with the Christ child bringing the presents. So many Catholics are completely against Santa Claus because they say Santa Claus is stealing the Christ child, the show, I'm not that strict. But the Santa Claus has nothing to do with the Christian Christmas. So, and when people who are very radical against the Christmas man, the Santa Claus, I always say, you know, there are so many people around the world who are Christian and strong believers and very devoted Christians who also teach their children that Santa Claus brings the presents. So it can't be so bad, you know. But it would be, I want to know, it was long-winded now. I want to know how you Christian parents keep the balance between Christmas is about Christ and Santa Claus is bringing the presents. Because everyone is waiting for Santa Claus, I guess, as a child. And for me, as a child, it was very much about the presents. As a child, it's always about the presents. We have to be honest here. But it was Christ who was bringing the presents. So I was also nervous that Christ himself was visiting our living room to put presents there. And is there the Christ, you know, the Jesus Christ? So it was always also Christ focused. I only want to know how you do that. I'm so curious. And again, I'm not against Santa Claus. I'm not against the Weihnachtsmann. But I don't like when the Weihnachtsmann is stealing the show. You know, that's why in our house the Christ child brings the presents. Yeah. Okay, sorry. That is really something I'm interested in. I hope you can help me out. I really want to solve this problem. Now I thought we could talk a little bit about Christmas knitting. So I want to show you all my Christmas socks now. Okay, I have washed some of my Christmas socks. I will show you the wet ones first. This is a pair of Wollbutt Christmas socks. It is the heavy sparkling yarn. Wait. Yeah, you see? I think, yeah, that was my last finished Christmas sock. I think you can receive similar yarn from hobby.com, HOBBII.com, because the German yarn or the German producer where I buy them from only ships to some European countries. And here is another one of this set. They don't look so nice because they are still wet. So, two. I finished, oh, maybe I should say that. This one I finished in this year and this one I finished last year. Both have 64 stitches and I knit them with 2.5mm needles. And now we come to my other ones. Here we have another sock by Wollbutt, so sock yarn. Again, heavy sparkling. And very pretty Christmas colors. This one I finished this year. I think I have forgotten when. I really have forgotten when. Yeah. And then I finished also this year in summer. I think we can count this as Christmas socks because these are my Advent Mystery knit-along socks. If you haven't knit them and you want to be surprised, look away please. Ta-da! I showed them in the last episode, I think. Yeah, and they count as Christmas socks for me because first of all, sparkle yarn. And it's a Advent knit-along and my first pattern and they are very special to me. Okay, you can watch again if you didn't want to see them. Then another pair of Christmas socks is the Country Roads pattern by Nordic Stitches. This time with 60 stitches. It's opal yarn from the subscription, so I can't tell you the colorway name, and I don't think, I haven't seen it actually, I don't think that this subscription colorway made it into the normal collections, because some of them get into the collections. For me it's Christmas because it looks like fairy lights on a and white and blue reminds me of ice and snow and the sky and so on. So maybe you don't see it, but I can see Christmas here. Another Christmas pair. Oh, they are very worn out already. This is... I think Opal or Regia. I can't remember anymore. You see, they are very worn out. I haven't worn them this year actually. So here's a contrasting toe. I think this colorway is called Summer Night or something. I think it is it's Regia, and it is a colorway designed by Arne and Carlos, I think. But I don't think it looks like summer. I think it looks like Christmas. Then another Christmas sock I don't wear so much because it felted in the washing machine and the yardage was weird. It wasn't a 6-ply, it wasn't 8-ply, so I didn't know how many stitches to cast on and with which needles and so on. But it's a pity because, or it's a shame because the colorway is so pretty. Okay, I will show you the colorway. I can still wear them, but they are very tight because they felted so badly. It's Fernerwolle, it's an Austrian yarn. And I think they make a Christmas colorway every year, but I don't like the fit of them. And then one of my first Christmas socks, Kevin colorway with the mini by a homespun house. I like the colorway, but I don't like 100% merino socks. I don't like how they sit on your foot and they are not that warm and so on. And now I will show you my first ever knit Christmas socks. Ta-da! I love them. I have to buy another skein because I can't wear them anymore. I knit them to slouchy. I knit them with 2.5mm needles because I was used to it, and I didn't know when I knit them that West Yorkshire spinners are behaving very, very like a very thin yarn, and that is why you get holes or a very airy fabric when you wear them. I learned it the hard way that socks hold on, or you can wear socks for a longer time if you knit them on a tight gauge. And unfortunately, they get very slouchy when you wear them, and they are very thin. I don't know why, but West Yorkshire spinners is very thin. And I see here, I have Kitchener stitched the toes, I think. I wanted to try it, but I don't like this fit of Kitchener toes. I really don't like that. I always knit the German Bandspitze now. It's also the way I show you in my tutorial. Yeah, these are my Christmas socks. And I have a Christmas shawl I crocheted years ago, I think in 2017 or 18. The main color is Woolen Vine yarns. It's very airy, that's why I will fold it and you will see the colorway better. Woolen Vine yarns in the Deck the Halls colorway. I think it was the Volker base or so. I received this from Nina from the This Old Knit podcast. And yeah, and then I used a no-name red. I still use this for my socks. I have bought one ball or so and I have still leftovers. It's a triangular. I don't wear it that much, and I also always have to tie knots and so on so that it stays on me, because if you knit or crochet triangulars, you have to knit or crochet very large ones so that you have enough to tie around and that it stays where it should be, you know. I'm not a big fan of triangulars, but I can't crochet other shapes. I don't know, I haven't found crescent shaped shawls to crochet that are easy to understand for me. Now let's talk about Christmas Eve cast on. Maybe you have heard about of that tradition. I think the Little Bobbins knits Danny? Is she called Danny? I think. From the Little Bobbins Knits podcast. I don't know if she still podcasts. She had a child. Is that the way how you say that? Because she's still had a child. When she became mother, there wasn't so much time anymore for podcasting and so on. I don't know if she still films episodes, but she invented the tradition, I think so, of the Christmas Eve cast on. That is something very special. But I have to admit, she is from Great Britain. That means she celebrates on the 25th. That means she has a lot of time on the 24th. That means we Germans have a hard time keeping the tradition, but I try it every year. And I will try this year again to cast on something for Christmas Eve. And I have picked the yarn already. This is a very pretty and treasured yarn by Fondant Fiber. It is called Happy Christmas Harry. It's a 4-ply yarn. It is extra fine merino, nylon and lurex. Lurex is a very nice heavy sparkle yarn. And I think I will make socks because on Christmas Eve it has to be something very easy and comforting. I don't want to knit a pattern or something. And as a hat, I don't have... I could make a standing rock hat, but I don't have a matching scarf or something. So I think it will be socks. Happy Christmas, Harry. That will be my Christmas Eve cast on. So stay tuned for that. And the last thing I want to show you today, and I promised you, is my Opal subscription shipment. Every December, May... Oh wait, 4 times a year. Forget it, you will read it on the screen. 4 times a year I receive 6 balls of Opal yarns, and I never know the colorways before, and you can't buy the colorways yet when they come out in the subscription. And some of the subscription yarns make it to collections and you can buy them. And today I want to show you the current new yarns or the new shipment. If you remember last year, I knit up the complete shipment from December into socks. I was so proud of myself. I haven't done this the last 12 months anymore, or 9 months. And I will give away some of former subscription yarns. But this you will see in my last episode of the Anna Nilla podcast this year, so stay tuned for that. Okay, first this here. You see the word Abo, A-B-O. Abo is the German short word for subscription, because it's abonnement, which is a French word, but we say in German Abo. Yeah, and this is a very pretty self-striping, but not complete stripes. It's shifting a little bit, rose and white. This is very pretty. I guess this will be the pattern war, Musterschlacht in the Ravelry group. You always when a new subscription comes out, 3 of the yarns will be selected, and we have to vote for one of the 3 yarns in the thread, which one we want to knit in the make along or in the knit along, and then you can decide a pattern you want to knit. But every pattern is only allowed once. So if you want to knit blueberry waffle socks, someone has announced to knit blueberry waffle socks already, so you are not allowed to knit them. That is the pattern war or pattern battle. This is amazing. I love that. I was hoping that the people vote for this one, because you can knit patterns so much easier with these block stripes. I like this very much as well. The ladies were a little bit disappointed with this subscription, because you don't have men colors this time. But I'm fortunate to have men colors in my stash for Tommy, so that's not a problem for me. And I think I will end this Christmas Vlogmas video here. Thank you for listening to me for such a long time. Thank you for celebrating Christmas with me and Vlogmas. And I hope you stay with me in the next year. And I hope you knit and crochet along with me. I have planned a lot. So you should watch my next video I will put out on Christmas Eve. Because I will have a lot planned for the upcoming year and it will be very exciting. Thank you, Merry Christmas, and stay safe. Happy knitting and crocheting. Bye bye.